Going through a divorce, wow, it brings up a ton of financial questions, doesn't it? And all that uncertainty can be really, really stressful. So this explainer is all about giving you a clear, straight-up answer to one of those big questions. What should you actually budget for a property appraisal in Pensacola? When you're trying to divide everything up, the value of your home is usually the biggest, most important number on the table. So our goal here is to cut right through the noise and give you a solid, reliable figure you can use for your financial planning.
And there it is. Let's not waste any time. The benchmark cost for a standard single-family home divorce appraisal in Pensacola is right around $650. That's the number you should have in your head as a starting point. Now, of course, that $650 is a baseline. Think of it as the starting line. In reality, depending on the specifics of your house and your case, the final fee is probably going to land somewhere in that mid-600s to mid-700s range. We'll get into exactly what causes that price to move in just a minute.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, where does that number even come from? It's a great question because it isn't just pulled out of thin air. It's actually based on a really trusted public source. So the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the VA, publishes an official price list that covers the entire state of Florida. And it turns out the work an appraiser does for a VA loan is super similar to what they do for a divorce case. Because of that, a lot of private appraisers in Pensacola use this official government schedule as a solid baseline for their own fees. And here it is. You can see it for yourself. This is the official schedule for Florida, which includes Pensacola. And look right there, plain as day, $650 for a single-family home. This confirms exactly where our benchmark number comes from. It's not a guess, it's a standard.
Okay, but what if you don't own that typical single-family house? Well, as you might expect, the cost is going to adjust based on the type of property we're talking about. You can see the difference really clearly here. A single-family home or a condo starts at that $650 benchmark we talked about. But a manufactured home, that's a bit more, around $725, because it just requires some extra verification steps. And if you've got a multi-unit property, like a duplex, you're looking at $800 or even more, since the appraiser also has to analyze all the rental income. It's pretty simple. More complexity means a higher fee.
Now, beyond just the type of property, the unique demands of a divorce case itself can also affect the final price. You know, a divorce appraisal isn't always as simple as one you'd get for a mortgage refinance. This is where you can really see the extra work that's involved. A standard refinance appraisal, that just needs today's value for a bank. But a divorce appraisal, that often requires what's called a retrospective value. That's the home's worth on a date in the past, like your date of separation. The report also has to be written with a ton of extra clarity so that judges and lawyers, people who aren't real estate pros, can easily understand it.
And here are a few other things to keep in mind. If you need a report super fast for a court deadline, you'll probably have a rush fee. If you have a really unique property, like a custom-built home on the water, that's going to take more research. And if there's a chance the appraiser might have to testify in court as an expert, that potential time commitment gets factored into the fee too.
Okay, here is a simple, super practical tip to help you keep costs down. The standard turnaround time is about 7 business days. So if you can, schedule your appraisal at least 2 full weeks before any legal deadline you have. A little bit of planning here can really go a long way and help you avoid paying extra for rush service.
So knowing all this, how can you make sure that appraisal fee is predictable and stays right within your budget? Well, the good news is you actually have a good amount of control over the process. It really just comes down to these 3 steps. First, talk to your attorney and clarify the scope. Do you just need today's value, or do you also need a value from a past date? Second, give the appraiser every document you have. Old appraisals, surveys, receipts for big improvements. This can save them research time, which saves you money. And third, and this one is huge, always ask for a flat fee quote in writing that spells out exactly what is and isn't included.
So you see, it all comes back to this one idea. That $650 VA fee is your anchor. It's your reference point. By using it, you can have clear conversations with your attorney and your appraiser, and you can move forward with one less financial unknown during a really complicated time. Now that you have a really firm handle on this cost, it lets you look ahead. With the value of your home figured out, what's the next piece of the financial puzzle you need to solve to keep moving forward?